Thanks so much for being here and hanging out tonight. Appreciate hearing from all of you, all of your great requests and messages in this KEXP worldwide community. And I'm very glad to be joined here in the booth by the folks of Grenade Bunny Records, and that is Luciano and Peren. Hi.
Howdy.
Hey.
I'm like, I turned on all the microphones. I'll turn that one off. Okay, there. Thank you so much for being here. I'm very glad that you were able to come in and talk about this compilation that you just put out, or putting out, Sharp Edges of Neglect. It's a compilation vinyl of local artists from the Seattle area, including Swamp Wife, Stoneyard, Kuroshi, and many more. And I actually didn't even know about this project until you posted about the release of this compilation and also the show that you just had at Baba Yaga in Pioneer Square. So can you tell us, what is Grenade Bunny Record? Is this the first release that you've put out on the record label?
Yes. First and foremost, thank you so much for the invite and having us here. But yes, this is the very first one we did. You only heard now because we are pretty quiet about it too. We didn't promote that much or whatnot. It's more so now that we're focusing on promoting a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I saw all of your website that it just says, this is not a real record label.
I mean, it's not really, like, the company does not exist legally, so it's technically just an Instagram page. That's where the joke came about, really. But in a lot of ways, we're not trying to, like, make the next big thing or anything like that. We're just very, in our own corner, I would say.
Yeah, just stoked about a lot of our homies making good music and doing what we can about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you both have such deep roots in the DIY and punk community in Seattle. I mean, Luciano, you are a well-established photographer here, and you have highlighted so many different bands in your like raw and cutting imagery. And you, Peren, have been immersed as a musician for many years in Seattle, and also I know come from a very musical family. Can you talk a little bit about what you find so special about the music community, specifically in Seattle? Like, what keeps you here in the city creating things when, I don't know, it can be so easy to be discouraged in the landscape that Seattle has become. So I'm always curious to hear, like, what's keeping you in the city?
Really, I mean, the community, for sure. A lot of the major players, a lot of the minor players, kind of just everyone's willingness to be involved and their dedication kind of in the face of some of that like overwhelming behemoth thing that makes doing your art kind of difficult. I think sometimes it doesn't always have to be this way, but like diamonds come from pressure kind of thing. So I think there's just naturally a lot of talent, and with that, it's easier to see and hear all of this great stuff being here. I'm from here. I've lived here my whole life and plan to probably for the rest of it, because it just keeps pumping out good people and good art.
Yeah, in my perspective, I'm not from here. I'm from Brazil, born and raised. I moved here when I was 23, 24. I learned with time and participating and documenting the music scene that I think it's very special. One fact here that is this city and this scene and the bigger Seattle scene tends to quite celebrate themselves in a great manner. When I started to document the music scene, it was my first time documenting any sort of scene. And at the beginning, I was very excited with everything. And as a photographer, in a lot of ways, you're like, okay, like what band it's gonna blow up and this and that. But with time, I really realized that it's never about blowing up at all. And usually when bands blow up, they nostalgically remind of times before that. Those were the good times.
Yeah.
If you ever read like any biography of any artist, they blow up and things start to really
it's like not
suck.
Fun.
Yeah.
Once it's supposed to be. Yeah.
And with my time documenting everything, I really realized that a lot of bands don't need to blow up. A lot of bands, should be celebrated locally for the people that are part of the scene, and that's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't make them less good or bad because they're a lot more palpable for the average listener. And nowadays, with streaming platforms and whatnot, it's in so many capacities, an industry game that you gotta have some sort of nepotism to really blow up. That I find it really refreshing to have this corner for us, and we kind of don't care that other people are not part of it in a lot of capacities because we are celebrating ourselves. We don't need to get LA or New York approval to say our stuff rocks.
Yeah,
that's truly
right.
like
206.
206.
425. We refuse to blow up.
Kinda, yeah.
It's kind of the
We
move.
don't want to be a real company.
Yeah. This is hard enough.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that's what's so special about our local music community is that I have so many shows that I've been to where I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like the best live band I've ever seen. And it's usually not a band that's like gonna go blow up and tour throughout the country, but like getting to see these bands in Seattle, see them play shows regularly, having them a part of this ecosystem, I feel like is such a cool thing that I hold on. It feels like a treasure, really.
It really does,
to have all of these little pockets and communities within the Seattle art scene, and of course, so much history here as well, through many different genres in the city of Seattle. Well, I know that you're like, this is not a real record label. This is not a real thing that we're gonna do. But I'm wondering, like, what inspired you to create this platform, and how did you go about putting together this compilation of music?
I just felt like I wanted to consume myself something like that. And usually how I start a project is like, I want to consume this myself. And I couldn't really find anything that was speaking to me that much in this capacity, in the capacity of a super DIY, label. So I just started.
Yeah.
That was pretty much it. I had so many good friends in bands already because of my previous documentation and shooting so many music shows and whatnot. And I had so many, friends that I talked about the music scene and whatnot. And Peren being one of my closest friends in that capacity. And we just started to talk, it was a very, very organic realization of like, hey, we can actually make this,
It was a lot of like, what would be cool?
Yeah.
What would be really cool? And then we like picked a thing that would be cool, and then you sent it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this to come out officially. I know it's on pre-order on your website, but where else can people find this compilation? How can they support you?
We have some in stock at Spin Cycle in Capitol Hill. We have some in stock at Sonic Boom in Ballard. We love both of those places.
Me too.
We were just kind of joking, kind of talking about doing a local delivery system, but where I just show up and give you your record. But
I like that idea.
I don't want to promise that, but I do kind of want to do it.
That sounds like a lot of driving and a lot of sitting in traffic.
That's the name of the game. There's lots of ways to play the game, Kennedy, and that's the way I want to play it. It's not about winning, it's about playing, Kennedy. So,
It's about community.
That's right. That's what we're here for. So,
and while I think it's much cooler to go to one of those two stores to get a copy, we also have online. So if you're not in Seattle and you still want to get a copy, we are shipping worldwide, actually.
We will ship worldwide. There's talks of having a shop in China once it, which is pretty good. Shout out China. There's I think we're trying to get some in New York like next week or something.
Yes.
We're talking to some homies out there.
And we definitely have plans to hit Bellingham and Portland too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good. I'm so excited. And we're going to get into some music right here, right now. If I'm not mistaken, the only way that you'll be able to listen to this compilation is if you buy the record, correct?
I want to say half of the songs there. All the songs are only presented in vinyl in this compilation. So to listen to all the songs on the vinyl format, you gotta get it. But some songs are out on different EPs by each band.
Cool. Awesome. Well, we're going to dig into something from Kuroshi, which is the band that you are in, Peren.
Yeah.
I was just choked. Oh my
That's
gosh.
what it usually does. Sorry. Kind of an appropriate
typical
response to Kuroshi.
But you have a new record out, or coming out.
Tomorrow, yeah,
Tomorrow?
that'll be GBR-002.
Yeah, it's our
that'll be the
second
second
official.
Grenade
It's really
Bunny
exciting.
release. Yeah, so here you are getting it a couple hours early.
I love it. All right, we're going to dig into music off of the compilation from Grenade Bunny. It is called Sharp Edges of Neglect. We're going to start out with some Kuroshi. This is Pretty Words right here on KEXP.